Hola, mi gente. I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna jump right in because this is about my uterus or your uterus. I believe that as women, we have the bodily autonomy and the right not to answer certain questions. I do also believe that you as a person, yes, you sitting right there watching this video, don't be triggered by this and don't feel attacked, but really sit back and think about the last time you asked a woman, well, when are you having kids? Do you want to have kids? Are you gonna have kids? Can you have kids? Why don't you want to have kids? Oh my God, are you sure you might change your mind about kids? That is so inappropriate. It's inappropriate for a number of reasons. And I know society has made it okay for you to think that you can talk to me or any woman about their body and what they're going to do with it and why they should or shouldn't do it. It's unnecessary. Here are the reasons why I feel personally and that I have learned why it is not okay. And I'm guilty of this. So this is one of the first things that I'm going to say. I have been guilty of this. Before I really honed in on getting to know myself and taking myself as an individual to the next level by reading, researching, opening myself up to other things that are not my culture, that are not my life. I want to be so well-rounded that I can be a part of any conversation. I can be a part of any type of understanding. I want to know the know. So many moons ago, I want to say about 10 years ago, I was working at Harman International. It's an audio company. I was an audio consultant. And one of my coworkers was extremely adamant about not having children. Extremely. And the reason why I remember this so vividly is because this is the only time that I have done this. And I didn't realize that it was indoctrination spewing out of me into this girl. And I was about, I want to say 23, 24 years old, 25, 23, 24, 23, 24, one of those. And we were all having a conversation on the floor at work. It was very dead. And she was like, child, I'm the good auntie. I'm not having kids. I don't want kids. I have no desire for kids. And me and literally everyone in the circle were literally in shock. And we were telling her, like, why? You're going to change your mind. Don't do that. You know, what was your point on this planet then? I don't understand. Like, we were meant to procreate and blah, 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 blah. And I just look back. Let me tell you, and I can't believe that that came out of my mouth. Then again, I was very immature. I was a child. I thought I knew it all. I didn't. If you ever watch this video, the person that I said this to, I apologize wholeheartedly. And that was not me. That was me then, not knowing a lick of shit. And I'm not that person anymore. I have grown. I understand. I'm well informed now, and I'm going to inform you guys. When you think that you have the entitlement to ask somebody about their body and their choices in life, I just genuinely want to know, you sitting on the other end, please don't take this as an attack, but you on the other end, why do you need to know so bad? What is it that strikes you to ask this question, and when the person answers and you cannot believe the answer, you feel the need to attack them and try to tell them what they know is best for them? Mind you, let's remember, you don't really know anyone's life. You can have a best friend for 75 years, and you're only gonna know what that friend wants to share with you. So everyone keeps their deepest, darkest secrets, their desires. They keep certain things to themselves. And you don't know if, number one, this person is not able to have children. If, number two, this person has been trying to have children and has been failing at having children. Their body is not allowing for them to have children. So now by you asking them that question, you've taken them back to that triggering moment where they have to relive the fact that their body does not work the way that it should. Number 3, maybe they just don't fucking want it. That's me. I have a number of reasons why I don't want children. A number. My husband and I do not want children. We have had this conversation for years. We know exactly where we stand. We are literally in the same chapter, on the same page, on the same line when it comes to not having children. I always wanted children. 3 to 4 years ago, I always wanted children. But I'm gonna explain something to you. And this is just my opinion. And this is a harsh opinion. So, prepárate. In other words, prepare yourself. I believe wholeheartedly that society has ingrained in us that we have to have children. That women are this vessel, that we are only meant for children. And why? Am I not just okay to be a human being and live my life? Why can't that just be my decision? Why can't that be my story? Why can't I just want to travel the world and have no other responsibility other than my own? Personally, 5 years ago, I even created an email address for the future child that Justin and I were possibly gonna have, so that we can write all the little memories and all these little things about our love journey to making them and having them. And then when they turned an appropriate age, we were gonna share the email and the password, and they were gonna have so many things to read and look back on. Please feel free to steal that idea if you'd like. That is how I wanted children. That's how badly I wanted children. I don't. I realized, and I've even written a list plenty of times, the reasons why I wanted children were for society reasons, were for my mom, to dress them cute, to have someone to share my legacy with. What legacy? What legacy? Why are we all assuming that there's something that's going to be left behind? And like, what should be left behind is that you stood by your choices and your life experience. I personally, I was assaulted as a child. It is very difficult for me to grasp the idea that I would have to send my kid to school, that I would have to leave my kid anywhere. Absolutely not. And before you say, oh, you never know if something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen anyway. Yes, I know, and that's why I just rather dodge the bullet. I'd rather dodge the fucking bullet. Also, I still feel like I'm 21. I still feel like a child. I still feel like I'm getting to know myself. I still feel like I haven't experienced fully what life has to offer to me. And I want to experience that without having a whole other individual to raise, because I'm still learning to raise myself. This is a fact for me. This may not be your story. You may resonate with certain things I say. But what I find very interesting is that when I say all of these things, people get angry. And I think the reason why people get angry is because they do realize that they settled for those society norms. They settled for, but my mom wants me to have a kid. She wants a grandson so bad. I really want to put overalls on my child. I want to buy the cute little sneakers. I really want to take photos, and I want a mini-me. I want someone to take care of me when I get older. Slave. You want a slave? You want to create someone to control them, to maneuver their entire life, to make them do things that are only for girls. You can only wear pink. You can only wear blue. You can think about the dictatorship that parenting could be, that a lot of you instill and have in your brain, and it's the reason why you may have decided to have children. Then there's this thing that I notice always happens. I have people that are like, I love my child. I wouldn't trade her in for the world, but I would have waited maybe 10 years. But I probably wouldn't have done it this way. But I don't regret my kid. I want to say that again. But if I really got to do it over, I wouldn't have done it. There's this whole pool of people that have had children that never fucking at them that are miserable, that are in situations right now where they don't want to be in them. And I don't want to be forced to be a parent. I don't believe that I should be forced or feel bad, made to feel bad that I don't want to be a parent. And this is such a passionate topic for me because I am so sick of having to defend what I don't want in my own life. You are not living my life. To all the people that get upset when their children don't want to have children, when their wife doesn't want to have children, why? Let that be their story if that's what they want. If that is what they want. I think the idea of forcing people into having children is so scary, and it's how we get rapists, murderers, and fucking people that don't want to raise their children and toss them into a system, or people that do raise their children but not properly, not correctly. They're not raising their men to be real men that protect, that can try to protect women, because no one can really protect anyone, let's be real. Everyone's for themselves on this planet. I just feel as though you have to take a moment, sit back and ask yourself, right this moment, am I this person? Do I feel entitled to know why someone doesn't want to have children? Just because you made that decision for yourself doesn't mean that I have to make that decision for myself. I have reasons why I don't want to do something. And guess what? I don't need to have a reason. My only reason is that I don't want it. I don't want it. I genuinely enjoy waking up when I do, being responsible for only myself, which is difficult enough for me personally. And I haven't reached a place in my life where I feel completely comfortable, where I am financially stable. And even when I am making millions of dollars, that is not going to change my mind, because it's not about the money. It's not about anything that you may think. It's personal to me. And it's so important that you on the other end are reminded. And if this is not you and it's someone you know, send it their way. Send it their way. It's okay to just sit back and say, wow, that's the choice they made. Okay, that's beautiful. Good for them. Good for them. If we're all sitting down and you're talking about your kids and you're like, Maryland, when are you going to have kids? That's not okay. Because you don't know if Marilyn has been struggling for 17 years to pop a baby out. You don't know that. You don't know if Marilyn, what her history is. You don't know anything. And then the minute Marilyn says, I don't want kids. Why? I don't understand. I think you're going to change your mind. That just doesn't make sense to me. And the reason why it doesn't make sense to you is because you really didn't think for yourself. You let society think for you. Let's be real. Yes, I'm not talking about everyone, because there are people that are just very spiritually inclined, and they absolutely sat back and they were like, you know what? I feel like now I'm ready to have children. This is something that I'm ready for. This is something that I want. I think I do want this. But really ask yourself, where did the indoctrination of this come from? Where did this forced mentality of forcing, it's literally in us since we're children. Why am I 3 years old pushing a stroller with a baby in it? Why am I feeding a baby and changing diapers as a child? Why am I doing that? Why was I doing that? Why is any child doing that? I don't think that's the thing to do. I gotta tell you, I feel like that is nuts, because they're giving a son G.I. Joes to train him to be in the military, and they're giving girls babies and Barbies to change their clothes and to make them cute and to feed them fake pink stuff and fake white stuff when they're little, and then fake poop comes out of their body. You change their diaper, I'm such a good mommy. And from there, you're indoctrinated. So of course, I know. If you're sitting on the other end of this and you're like, no, that's not my story. No, I just really wanted kids for myself. You cannot deny, and I'm not gonna like make up a statistic on this because I didn't look this up before, but this is just my opinion once again. We cannot deny that this has to do with it. The indoctrination of making us walk around with babies while we were babies throughout our entire life growing up is what has made us even think that that's our number one role in life. The number one role in life is to have children. The number one thing in life is to have the white picket fence. You meet someone, you marry them, you live with them, you have children with them, and you continue the cycle of life. I don't want that. I also don't feel like this world is the kind of world I want to bring my kids into. I almost feel like it's selfish. To me, it is selfish. There's too much shit going on this planet. None of it looks good. I also know that I'm going to have a child that is Black and Latino. I know this. So I already know what they're going to experience. And I don't want that. I also know that there's a possibility that they could be assaulted. I also know the possibility that it is one of the biggest responsibilities on the planet to not raise a murderer or a rapist. And there's really no way around knowing if you're going to actually do that or not. If you coddle too much, you might do it. If you don't coddle enough, it might do it. Like, you really have no clue. We have no clue. And I don't want to take part in it. So here's my PSA for anyone that watches my video. If you ever meet me, if you ever know me, if we ever have a conversation about anything, know that I do not want children, and know that you did not deserve to know my reason why, and know that it is not your responsibility, you are not entitled, and you do not get to know about my body and my uterus, because it is mine and it is my choice, and I get to make the decisions on what I want. And as long as my husband is okay with it, and me and him, he and I are on the same exact page, that's all that matters, baby. That is all that matters. No one else can make me feel bad for this. You're not. If anything, when you ask me, I automatically cringe inside of my body. Know this. When you ask me this question, when you ask women this question, it is cringeworthy. It's cringeworthy. It's even worse when a woman, literally who has children, tries to fucking talk you into it. It's the best love you'll ever know. Good for you. Good for you. Que bueno. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And I have to say it like that because y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. I still have people trying to fucking tell me about having children. It doesn't end. And it's triggering. So I'm very happy that there are now pools of women that feel the same way. I follow Rich Auntie Supreme on Instagram, and she gives me life. She gives me life because she doesn't make me feel bad for my choices in my own life. That's another thing. People really want to force you into being just as miserable as they are. And I'm sick of it. And let's be real. I keep hearing, I'm in a part of TikTok where it's a bunch of moms and they're like, let's be real. I have to do this. I have to wake up at this time. I got to do this. I'm not doing that. I was already indoctrinated to go to school for my whole life. So imagine that, my whole fucking life I had to go to school, wake up at 6, 7 in the morning every single day until I graduated. And when that stopped, I had to wake up every single day to go to work early in the morning. You think I'm gonna wake up every single day early in the morning to take care of somebody else when I can't even get up in the morning to fully take care of myself? I still struggle with depression, functional depressant here. Like, my couch is unmade right now, bro. I cannot even fathom thinking about changing diapers, feeding, getting anyone to school, sitting around listening to fucking moms talk like soccer moms. No, I don't want it. Whew. I can't. I cannot have it. I can't have the conversation where it's all about children either. Like, I have to be as nice as possible and say, no, thank you. And this is not to say, I want to be very clear, I love children. You see, this is where you guys get it mixed up, in my opinion. I love children. Send me baby videos. Send me the cutest shit ever. I love it. I'll send it to you too. I love my friends' kids. Beautiful kids. Gorgeous. Live their best life. I still don't want them. I personally don't like to be at kids' parties. Why do I have to be there? It's a kids' party. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on. It's not for me. That's okay. That doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean it's wrong. That doesn't mean that the person is doing something wrong. It just means it's not for me. And I really feel that when you say you don't want something and something doesn't align with you, people take it personal. It's like a personal dig on their womanhood and on the decision they chose to make. For some reason, they take it that literal. And this is a reminder that it never had anything to do with you. But stay out of my uterus. Thank you for coming to today's TED Talk.